We're almost at the Steel Pan Vibe Spotlight. In fact, our guest is on the phone. You and your students, Ethan Whitaker and Shakira Hodgson, right?
That's right.
Okay, they won last week, first and second place at the Cayman Islands 2014 Young Musician of the Year competition for their steel pan performance. Right. Wonderful. So how you feel? How you feel?
How I feel about the win?
Yes.
How I feel about the kids, the steel pan winning overall over violins and pianos and
That's right. So tell our listeners.
It's the first time. The first time that has been done, that we have first and second place steel pan players winning that prize.
I see. That's a great accomplishment.
I feel very good about it too.
I'm sure. So just let listeners know that the steel pan won the 2 top awards over violin, piano, and all those other things, right?
That's right.
All right. Very good. I'm so proud of you.
The guy that won his Ethan Whitaker. He played the Minute Waltz and Voices of Spring.
Oh, wonderful.
Every performer has to play 2 songs. And Shakira did Jesus Job Man's Desire and Tico Tico.
Wonderful. So, Earl, tell us about the Cayman Islands School for Pan. When you started it, how long ago, and, how it has been coming along.
I started Cayman Islands School for Pan because I teach in school here anyways. I teach at the University College of the Cayman Islands, and I teach in 3 other schools, which is Cayman Prep, that's a high school, Grace Academy, which is a high school too, and then Triple C High School. They're all private schools that I teach pan. And I have my own band, which is Cayman School for Pan Panorama's steel band. Now, the Cayman School for Pan was started about right after the hurricane, right before the hurricane, as a matter of fact. The hurricane was in 2004, and I started in 2003. And we built back in Cayman. We have built back after the hurricane, so it all came together again in 2006, where I started back my school, and the school is doing fine. This is my own school, Cayman School for Pan. I run that. Me and my son Jimmy, Earl La Pierre. We do all the teaching in that school. And every year I take the same group, the best group in Cayman. I take about 3 school groups to Toronto to do the Caribana Festival. Because when they go up there, and that's the nearest thing to Trinidad in the sense of competition, in the sense of big bands. There's some big bands in Toronto, in the Caribana, and they perform with my band in Toronto. I have a band in Toronto by the name of Afropan. So Cayman School for Pan is representing Cayman when they go to Toronto and learn about Panorama's influence, how you practice, how you, that kind of environment, that kind of competition there in Toronto is really, really high. So I have 3 schools that I take that are representing Cayman in Canada every year in July, August.
You stay busy. But listen, I want to find out something, because I know some people, they don't know that you can earn a living playing pan. You perform, you teach, you adjudicate. When did you know for sure that you could make a living playing the instrument? Was it, did your parents encourage you? Were you on your own at that time? How long it's been? Tell us about that.
I was on my own. I was in Toronto. I was living in Toronto. I kind of do a lot of pan work in Toronto. I'm the one who brought steel band to Toronto, in a sense, and had it there as a credit course in the high schools and the junior schools. They were doing this as a credit. And then after I went over to the University of Toronto, where they had pan there too. So at that point in time, I was just doing teaching in school, and the odd jobs every so often. But then again, I said, something, I could do this full time, because I was more busy than anything else. I was busy teaching, and in nighttime I was busy going and perform in like a hotel or some function or something. I have to give a lot of credit to certain people in Toronto that made me aware that I could do that. People like Dick Smith, he has a sort of a combo with pan, guitar, bass, and cellos and different things like that. Mike Rothstein and Earl Wong, they all had little combos that we used to gig around with and stuff like that. And they were doing it just like how I'm doing. They were not teachers, but they had little bands that they said hire me to come up to my pan with. So at that point in time, I made up my mind I'm going to be on my own. I applied for a permit to have my own school in Toronto. I had my own, which was Afro-Pan. And I got the opportunity to come to the Cayman Islands when I know this, what I'm doing, is it.
Is it?
I came to the Cayman Islands to do a 10-day performance here with a group from Toronto, and there was not one steel band here in the Cayman Islands, not even one drum.
Okay.
Nobody knew nothing, and Cayman Islands is in the Caribbean,
right?
But they had no steel band, no pan, nothing at all. So I was the only pan man in the Cayman that was doing that. Some pan men passed through, but they never stayed. They were working on cruise ships and stuff like that.
Okay, Earl, I have a question right here. I'm sorry to interrupt. Give us some kind of timeline. Like, was this in the 80s, in the 70s? When was this taking place? When you
in the late 80s.
In the late 80s.
86. Okay. 86 to be sure, 86.
All right, okay.
That I started doing my own thing, living off a pan. I went to the schools here and showed them what is pan because they didn't know anything about pan here. And I had a workshop, and the kids were really enthusiastic about playing pan here in the Cayman. And I got pan from Trinidad, from like Earl Wong. I got pan from Guppy Brown, Rhoden Harrigan. And I started 2 bands. And now we have 9 steel bands here now.
Wonderful.
We have 9 steel bands. Every school owns their own pan. That's the good thing about the schools here. Every school owns their own pan. They don't borrow anything from anybody. Everybody has their own pan.
Okay, so I could
now
call
we
you...
have 9 steel bands.
So I could call you a pioneer. You're a pioneer for pan in the Cayman Islands. And even when you went up to Canada back in the day, right?
I still go. I'm on my way there now. At the end of the month, I'm going up to Toronto for Caribana.
All right. So listen now. Over the years, you arranged for steel bands in Trinidad and in Canada. Now, Afro Pans is one of the oldest steel orchestras in Canada. Do you know how they picked that name and what it means? What is, why they call it Afro Pans?
I'm going to tell you that right now.
Tell me.
Before we were not Afro Pan, we were the average steel band. At that time, they had this band called the TASB, the Average White Band. And it was TAS something, TASWB or something, the Average White Band. And we had the TASB, which was the Average Steel Band. So one guy came to us one day and he said, "Hey guys, I want to buy an album." And we said, "Boy, we have no record. We don't have no records at that time." He said, "If I get you guys in the studio, would you guys do a record?" And I said, "Yes." But he said, "You'll have to change your name because nobody would buy an Average Steel Band recording." So at that point in time, Afro was the style. Everybody in the band had a big, humongous Afro. And I got together one night. I was just sitting there and I thought about it. I said, "Boy, what am I going to name this band?" And then that came up to me, the Afro-Pan Steel Band. And we didn't change it TASB. We kept it TASB, but we changed the word average to Afro-Pan. Everybody in the band had an Afro. And that gave me the idea of having the band called the Afro-Pan Steel Band.
All right.
That's how that name came about.
Well, that sounds, that sounds reasonable. So you're dating yourself.
Everybody had an Afro.
That's in the 70s or in the 80s? When is that?
That was in the 70s.
Oh.
Afro-Pan started in 72, 73, something there.
Okay.
I want to tell you something again about the Afro-Pan. Afro-Pan has won in 40 years. We just celebrated our 40th year last year. We have won that major prize in Toronto 32 times in Toronto, 8 seconds and 2/3. Afro-Pan has that record going for them right now.
Wonderful.
32 wins.
Wonderful.
8 seconds and 2/3.
That is an accomplishment. That is an accomplishment. Now tell me something. You've taught in Canada. You taught in the Cayman Islands as well. Do you think the accurate history of the instrument is important when you teach people how to play? Should they know the history as well? How important is that?
I try my best to teach and show videos and whatever news I get about pan history in this. And there's so much different topic about the who really invented this instrument. I would say one thing and somebody would correct me. It wasn't somebody else. And even my mom, she was not too happy with the Spree Simon thing. My mom was an Invaders. She grew up in Invaders steel band and that kind of thing. And she said, no, it was not Spree Simon. So I don't get mixed up in the who it was because I was not around in those times. But he has so much different names called. And I wish I could hear somebody who could come up with the right name who really invented this steel pan, because I teach it and I would like to have to know the right knowledge. Right now I'm saying it's Spree Simon.
Yeah.
But other people have different ideas of who it really was. I don't have a clue who it is. I just have an idea that it was Spree Simon.
But
and
maybe
it's an instrument. I would really love to have the truth.
Yeah.
Or somebody could come and clarify who was really the first band invented the steel orchestra.
Okay.
I really don't know.
What I want to say is this. Does it have to be one person? Does it have to be only Spree Simon or Ellie Manette? No, so it's
I know Ellie had a lot to do with
exactly. So it's a collective. A lot of people were experimenting. A lot of people should be given credit. It don't have to be one person. That is such
I find so too, Barbara. I really find so too.
Yes, so
because
that's what we have to do.
I grew up in the Woodbrook area, and Ellie Manette was really instrumental in with his style of tuning, which they used to call Ellie Manette Pansy Harp.
Yes.
And then you have Tony Williams down in Northside with the spider web. Then you have Bertie Marshall.
Absolutely.
You have Rudolph Charles. You have all these people who... There's a lot of names never Jews. Everybody had a part to do. Had a part to play.
So that's what now. So now, when you go back to your classroom, you're giving everybody a little credit.
I do. I do it right now. I do it as we speak. I do it all the time.
Well, that's good. Okay, we're running out of time and we could talk for the rest of the night. However, let's switch a little bit and talk about fatherhood.
Nice.
What do you enjoy most about being a dad? What do you really enjoy with your children? Or did enjoy when they were younger? Or even now?
I really grew up with my last two children. I didn't grow up with... I have 4 boys and 1 daughter. Noel in Trinidad, when I said Trinidad, Noel was a part of my lifestyle. Then I moved to Toronto. And I had 2 boys there, which was Earl Jr. and Adisa. And now I am in Cayman. I have Ulujami and Aziza. Ulujami is the youngest at the bunch, and he seemed to be the one who's moving in a direction like Boxy Sharp.
Oh, wow. Yes.
He is that kind of soloist. He just gifted. And the Lord gives him a gift that he's just natural. Noel now as the first one, he had to work hard to accomplish whatever he had accomplished. Earl Jr. now on the other hand, he's more in the hip-hop kind of style, more in the hip-hop kind of thing. He's a sort of an announcer, DJ with the band and stuff like that. So they all do something different.
Wonderful.
And when I play with them, it's like I'm one of them. I feel like I'm just like them and they're like me, because we all playing pan and we all have a turn when it's time to solo, or when it's time to do your stuff, you do your stuff, and we don't get in the way of each other. We all give each other space to do whatever is to be done. We don't crowd each other and stuff like that. I feel good as the head, and I could see them grow. I'm seeing them growing anyway, and I feel really good about that.
Wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. That's a real family.
And you notice I didn't mention my daughter in that mix.
Yes.
My daughter is a different type of player. She plays the pan and she would blow the flute. And she wants to do that at the same time. While playing the pan, pick up the flute and blow the flute and stuff like that. So she has a different idea about just being a panist alone. She wants to be a really musician that could play other instruments at the same time with the pan.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I know fathers and daughters, you all have a special relationship. How you think fathers equip their daughters for life? Tell me one of the main things with you and your daughter.
I really bring up my children. I'm like a mother and a father to especially Jimmy and Aziza in Cayman here. Yeah. I brought them up. I had them from 98, that I was like a father and a mother at the same time with my children. It was tough on the daughter because, it's a daughter now. You don't know a lot of things, but daughter need a sister or mother or somebody.
Aunt, a cousin, somebody to help.
That sort of thing. It was kind of tough with the daughter's situation. It was more like, take care. With my boys, there's no problems. We could talk sports, we could rap, we could do it. But the daughter's different little... it's a different thing when you have a daughter, that you're bringing up a daughter. She's different. But she managed. I know she she's grown up and she's doing her own thing, and I am proud of that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Tell me what you think fathers could do when relationships are broken, like, you know, with a daughter or with a son. What do you think you could do? What's the best thing to try and repair those relationships?
You mean with the son and the daughter, or with the mother and the daughter?
No. With the father and the daughter, with the father and the son. This Father's Day. We're really talking about fathers.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had that. Experience. So I really don't know what I could say in that. But I always try to be there for my kids, and I think my children are there for me too. Mm-hmm. I'm getting older, and they just try to be with daddy. You know, we all grew up together, and I don't know what to do in a broken relationship. It's something that I don't know what I could say about that, because, especially with my children as a father, I don't know what to say in that.
So what do you do?
I feel hurt if there's a broken relationship with me and my children.
Yes. But what do you do to keep it together? Like you have a good
I
relationship?
just continue praying and asking God to guide us and stuff like that. And you know, living in Cayman Islands is sort of like a breeze. It's so easy to live in the Cayman Islands and have kids and have your kids, because it's not a rat race. It's more like tourism. It's just an easy pace here in the Cayman Islands. It's not a fast-going pace like Toronto or maybe Trinidad or maybe New York or Miami. Yes. It's a really slow pace here in the Cayman Islands. I have time to relax and I have time to think, and so my children have time to think about right and wrong about life.
I see.
So right now I thank God for giving me the opportunity to be here in the Cayman Islands, and have two wonderful kids in the Cayman Islands so that I could, guide.
Wonderful.
And be a part of their lifestyle.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we out of time. I'm so happy we were able to have this little chat. You know, I want to wish you more success in raising the children there, with your PAN school, with all the positive things that you're doing. I'm really proud of you. I know I only met you, 2 years ago or a year ago or so?
2 years now.
Trinidad.
2 years now. Yeah.
And I appreciate all the music you sent me. We shared one today. We played Memories with you and Linda on the saxophone. You on the pan.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice piece. Beautiful. I love your
Thank
music.
you.
It's really, really good. And of course, I want to wish you Happy Father's Day.
And I really do appreciate that too.
All right.
And I want to wish all the fathers out there who are listening tonight Happy Father's Day, guys. You know, we work hard, and this is the benefit of the whole thing, to have a good day, Father's Day tomorrow. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm having a big thing in church. We're having all the musicians get together in church and play for the fathers, and I'm going to be playing for myself too.
Yes, good.
Father's Day is going to be a big thing here in Cayman tomorrow, and I wish everybody else who's listening and streaming on to 94.7. Kiss. Barbara, you're doing a wonderful job.
Well, thank you. And all the best to you as well. We'll be in touch. Take care and have a good evening.
Yeah. Hey, Barbara?
Yes?
I hope I see you in Trinidad for Carnival.
I'm going to do my best to get there.
All right. And your show is really a success. And thanks for all these heal up that you giving me. Thank you again. Good night.
Okay, then. You have a good evening.
Thank you, too.
Okay. Well, folks, we've come to the end of our program this evening. What could we say? You know, fatherhood, motherhood, whatever it is a challenge, always. Just let's stay connected and stay communicating. That's the best thing we could do to bring out the best in our kids. We have to stay communicating. And PAN, truly extraordinary. You know, that's a great legacy that we have to leave for our kids. Thanks for listening. Thanks our sponsors for making our program possible. Stay strong, stay focused. Dream big, drive carefully, have a safe, enjoyable weekend, and happy Father's Day to all of you.